This is the Cardinal Report, your weekly 30-minute look inside the world of North Central College athletics. I'm Justin Zipser. Later on in the show, we'll take an in-depth look at women's track and field, a team that is starting to gel together at just the right time as it readies for the CCIW Championships at Illinois Wesleyan University this weekend. But first, we take our usual look back into the past week of action for the rest of NCC's athletic programs. Both the men and women's basketball teams wrapped up their respective seasons in Elmhurst against the Blue Jays. The Lady Cards trailed by only a point at the halftime break. After Elmhurst jumped out to a 76-59 lead in the second half, NCC used a 15-2 run to vault itself back into the contest. But in the end, were unable to grab the win. Marissa Clattis once again paced the offense with 18 points, while Marion Beck finished her North Central career with a team-high 8 rebounds. The Cardinals finish off the season with an overall record of 11-14 and 4-10 in CCIW play, taking a slight step backward compared to the 2012-2013 season. Even though the men were mathematically eliminated from contention in the CCIW tournament by the time they suited up against Elmhurst College, the fight of a veteran team looking to end its season on a high note shined through in an 80-76 win versus the Blue Jays. 4 seniors played in their final game in Cardinal Red, including Vince Kamick, Brandon Williams, and Pat Rourke. And lest we forget Landon Gamble, who obviously subscribes to the save the best for last cliche. 33 points in the contest are his new career high. It was also his 112th career game, setting a new North Central record. Oh, and he passed 1990 graduate and CCIW Player of the Year Robert Brown for 4th place on the all-time scoring list in the process. Not a bad way to go out. The team finishes with a disappointing CCIW record of 7-7, but won 4 of its final 5 conference games. The wrestling team began its march toward postseason success with a nice showing in the CCIW Championships. Hosting the meet at Gregory Arena, top-ranked Leighton Binion won the 133-pound weight class against All-American Elmhurst College Blue Jay Miguel Venezia. Nick Santos, Andrew Rodewald, and Josh Tardy each finished second in their respective weight classes. Now the team prepares itself for a trip to Crawfordsville, Indiana, and the Division III Midwest Regional meet. This determines how many Cardinals we'll see at the National Championships in mid-March. With a win at the Cardinal Classic at the Res Rec Center, the men's track and field team continued to display its overall dominance in preparation for the true meat of the season. The women also competed in the Cardinal Classic and finished with very similar results. When we return on the Cardinal Report, we hear from head coach Kari Kluckhohn about one of the most exciting women's track and field teams at North Central in a number of years.
Yes, ready.
Oh, come on, Randy. Animal shelter, here I come. And no, I'm not crazy or emotionally damaged. That's a stereotype. I just belong to a total loser. I'm a good dog. So if you want a pet, adopt. And if you see Randy, tell him he dropped his wallet.
The Cardinal Report is back. Women's track and field head coach Kari Kluckhohn back with us to get things started. Coach, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Your team heading into CCIW Championships this weekend in Bloomington against the best of the conference, coming off the Cardinal Classic here at home in Naperville at the Res Rec Center. Another first place finish. Your team ranked 11th in the nation according to the USTF CCCA. Things are going pretty smoothly here heading into conference championships.
Yeah, we're definitely prepared for the conference championship. This past weekend we had almost 30 personal bests on the team. We moved up in several events within the conference as well, and have really put ourselves in position to be very competitive this weekend. And
looking back at what you said about the Cardinal Classic last year, it's, when you put together the lineup, it's less about winning, even though you did win pretty handily. It's less about winning, but more about setting up your individual athletes so they can get better placements for nationals and for conference. Talk about that a little bit and what went into when you created the lineup for this Cardinal Classic.
This past week, we definitely didn't put up our lineup to win. We really were trying to get those last looks at some of our women to earn spots in the conference lineup within any specific event. We also put people in events so we would have more options based on seeing how they raced or performed. So we had better choices going into some of our events. So when we put the lineup together, we really, in some events we ran people in off events or competed them in off events so they can focus on their main ones next week. So we were very pleased with our outcome, being able to win by about 45 points in a meet meet that we really weren't focused on that. I was actually a little surprised with that, considering the competition that we had.
As Coach and I have been discussing, the team was in action this past weekend at the Resurrect Center for the Cardinal Classic. The NCC women won this event last year and look to repeat their success in 2014. The Cardinal Classic at the Resurrect Center is the final tune-up for Ebony Stallworth and the rest of the women's track and field team before the CCIW Championships. Stallworth sitting 5th in the nation in the shot put and does not disappoint here. Her best throw in the finals good for 45 feet and 3 3/4 inches. Her stiffest competition comes from Wisconsin whitewater warhawk Shelby Marr. Sitting at 9th nationally coming into the meet, she jumps ahead to a tie for 4th with her day's best throw, 45 feet and 6.5 inches. She wins shot put, Stallworth is 2nd. To the 60-meter hurdles we go. For the past few weeks, this has been Madison Renfro's event. Set a school record last week with a run of 9 seconds flat. In the finals at the Cardinal Classic, just 1/100th of a second behind that pace. That still gives her a first-place finish. Nora Ferguson and Jackie McCown among a group of 4 Cardinals taking spots in the top heat of the 800-meter run. Chris Dakota and Caitlin Zump, the other 2, joining in on the fun as we see how things shake out after the gun. Coda takes over the lead about 300 meters of the way through and doesn't give it up down the last lap. She's first with a 2:17.32. McCown and Ferguson just behind her for a North Central College 1-2-3 finish. And then, of course, there's pole vault, one of NCC's most consistent events. That's due in large part to Brooke Patterson, currently situated 8th on the national rankings. She finishes the event tied for 2nd with a high vault of 11 feet and 8 inches. Liz Composto set a personal record last week with a height of 12 feet and 7.5 inches. She's tied for 2nd nationally with that. She's not far off in the Cardinal Classic, 12 feet 2 inches and a first-place finish. The 11th ranked Cardinals finished comfortably ahead of 5th ranked Whitewater for the team title. So you said 30 personal best, which is pretty outstanding. People racing or just competing in off events. What'd you learn about the team, knowing that you know, even though you didn't really try to win, you still came out with that victory?
Yeah, I knew we've been gaining momentum throughout the season. You know, every meet we've been in, we've been either 1st or 2nd. We've put ourselves into position to compete against national level teams, not just in Division III, but in other divisions as well. And really just being able to see people step up in a couple areas that I wasn't exactly sure where we were, gave us some depth that I wasn't sure we had in a couple areas as well. We've just done such a great job with our team cohesion, with seeing a bigger picture. The women, we really focus on how each person individually contributes to the bigger picture of our program and a daily experience. So I've really found that through the championship season with Chicagoland last weekend, Cardinal Classic this week, moving into the conference championships, that our women are very ready. They've elevated themselves and they have a strong team focus going into the championships.
I mean, if you look at the team, it's still a young team, and you know, a lot of juniors, a lot of sophomores that are really competing at really high levels heading into conference championships. You as a coach kind of had to go through the growing pains last year of kind of, you know, coaching some of these younger players into, you know, national top spotlight situations, and here they are a year older, 1 year closer to graduation, but 1 year under their belt where they have been competing at such a high level. Talk about some of these underclassmen that have been kind of leading the way for your squad a little bit. Yeah, we really, one of the things we focus on as a whole team is not hoping, but knowing. Knowing we're a championship team. Expecting excellence out of ourselves on a daily basis. If you live that way on a daily basis with practice, socially, academically, all those things, when you actually come to practice, if you do the things right, and when you compete, it just comes out because it's the way you are. And it's really having that expectation. And it's not a sense of pressure, it's more of a sense of responsibility and shared effort. And when you get more people over time to believe in that, or when they come in even as freshmen, we're very clear in that in recruiting, you're able to do things that maybe other people on the outside don't really think you're capable of as a team. So those younger people, I don't really look at us as young. We've really improved in some areas from when we were younger last year. I now look at us as a seasoned group. We've got some young people in a few event areas, but they have excellent leadership in the upperclassmen ranks to show them how we do things and to show what the expectations are. And again, expectations isn't pressure. It's all about what we know we're able to do. We never ask someone to do something that they're not capable of. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of time to realize, yeah, I really can do that. If my coach says I can, my teammates say I can, you know, I need to know it too.
So when you're in that environment, it's a lot easier to come out than when if you're a lone wolf and no one's really there trying to help support you and help mentor you and guide you and be competitive with you.
I think that's one of the unique aspects about track and field. It is so team focused, and talking to every athlete that we do over the course of the last couple of years, it's one of the common themes that always comes up is essentially confidence, which is inherent in any type of sport, but definitely when you're a younger team. Like you said, you're not so young maybe as people may think, but confidence is such an underlying factor. How has the confidence grown over the last year or so for this team?
I think last year with winning both indoor and outdoor conference championships and doing really well with representing our school at the national championships has definitely helped with that. And again, when you put yourself in those positions, it makes it more likely in your mind that you can do it. We actually do mental imagery twice a week as a team. We do visualization, relaxation twice a week as a full team. We've done this for my whole career as a coach. And it's something that, you can train physically all you want, but you have to have a mental mindset of winning. And it's and when you train your mind to do that, you can really elevate yourself. And the women, it's positive self-talk. We talk a lot about positive self-talk, no negative comments, let your coach tell you the things to correct, but always build yourself up, build your teammates up. It's not cockiness, it's about being confident. So that's really an underlying philosophy that we've had for many years.
That's interesting. I mean, that's you're in your 12th year at North Central as the head coach, and this is something that you've gotten positive feedback about, this mental imagery?
Yeah. It's funny because usually the Monday after conference we don't do imagery, just kind of take a break, and the people that are looking at nationals, are like, Coach, why aren't we doing imagery? So and again, those elite athletes are very, strong in their mindset, and it's just part of their training, so they want to continue with it throughout their full season.
Well, that's very interesting. We'll continue on with Coach Kluckhohn and a little bit about CCIW Championships next after the break on the Cardinal Report.
Hi, my name's CJ. A few years ago, my father became seriously ill. I did what I could do before he passed, but it took its toll. I lost my job, my house. I'm getting back on my feet, but I don't know when there'll be food on the table. How'd I do, CJ?
We could be twins.
Well, cousins, maybe.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
TCR is back, still talking women's track and field with head coach Kari Kluckhohn. And Coach, CCIW Championships coming up this weekend, and as we kind of talked about in the previous segment, things are looking very smooth for the team. Heading into Friday and Saturday, always you get stiff competition from, Wesleyan, who's ranked 9th right now. Carthage as well plays a big role in the conference championship. What kind of teams are you looking out for among that group of teams to watch out for come Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, it's really actually a very tight meet between the top three, and it's Wesleyan, and Carthage. We're very close. We each have strengths in certain areas that the other one may not be completely strong in. I think our depth will definitely help us, but I feel, looking at, I'm a scorer. I like to score the meet every week and try to strategize and figure out what everybody's doing. And I'm usually pretty close, but it's going to be a very tight meet, a very competitive meet. But I do tell the women, we're not trying to beat any one team. We're trying to beat 7. And it's, it doesn't matter what any other jersey says. It's North Central College, and you're going to do your best because you're here. Because again, it comes back to that shared sense of, effort. And, we can't just rely on a couple studs to do it. For us, we need to have, complete, execution of our competition plan, complete faith in one another across event areas. We're very strong in many areas. We have a couple that we could use a little work on, but if you look overall within the conference, I think we have more depth and we have some definite breadth across the board. So it'll be exciting throughout the day, the 2 days, but it's going to be a battle, that's for sure.
You don't want to rely on the studs too much, but you do have a couple of really talented athletes, and I'm mostly talking about over in the pole vault with Liz Composto, who has been at nationals indoor, outdoor over the last couple of years, and now she's a junior, and she's second place on that national list with her pole vaulting. She's just been so excellent this year. What has she brought to the team, not only on the physical standpoint, putting points on the board for the team, but also the fact that she's able to kind of tutor along some of the younger players as well, or athletes, I should say. Yeah,
she's always been very put together. She's more mature. She's always been mature, even as a freshman. She's always seen the bigger picture. She can see down the road, what's to come. But in the moment, she's very, coachable. She doesn't focus on the bar, she focuses on the process. But one of the big things she's brought this year as one of our captains is just her level of commitment to her training and following the plan, and telling the women on the team, we can all be this. You can be this. You have to train like it though. You can't wait until the week of conference or the couple months before. And this is months ago in our meetings that we were having. It's the daily life that you choose to have. And it's not a sacrifice if you love it. So, and that's just how she is. So.
Last year on the show, you mentioned the fact that athletes on the team can't be small thinkers, small competitors, and it seems like Liz is kind of the epitome of the big thinker, and she's looking ahead.
Yep. Yeah. She, if she could, if I'd let her do a bunch of other events, she would do it. But she'll do one other event for us at conference as well, because she's right outside of scoring there, and she wants to give it a try. And we want her to try as well, because we're looking at a team race, a team competition. But yeah, she's just always had this bigger picture. She's on campus, she's very active as well in other areas, so she's always been a contributor more than just herself focused on the pole vault.
And she's been excellent this year, and we can't wait to see her in nationals. One of the unique aspects of a track and field season is how athletes strive for both personal and team glory at the same time. And while they both go hand in hand, we take a look at the mindset of some of NCC's best when it comes to competing for both themselves and the team in this week's Cardinal Corner. For North Central College track and field athletes, meet day is pretty simple. Do well individually and you help your team score. But this week we try to find out what drives some of the elite athletes on the women's team. When they stare down their respective events, are they more motivated by helping the team score in preparation for the CCIW Championships, for instance, or rather vaulting themselves to the top of the national individual standings?
They definitely are simultaneously going through my mind as I have these goals, and in these goals I'm going to do the best I can to contribute to my team.
While Liz Composto has the ability to frame both team and individual success while competing, other athletes keep it simpler.
I get pumped up for myself before races, get really focused, don't really I guess I say a lot because I'm so energetic, but afterwards it's just more getting pumped up for everyone else. So when it's my event, I get ready for me, and then when it's theirs, right after I run, then it's them.
If individually I do well in that event, going towards for a higher team score goal, that's the main focus. So my points, I just try to go for the team's points, and then if I could get something out of it as well, that'd be really great. So I think I'm more focused on the teams.
And so far this season, each of these athletes have gotten something out of it. The trio finds itself ranked on the national individual level. Each athlete comes into her event with a different mindset, helping NCC to first or second place team finishes in each of its first 5 indoor meets this season. It seems there's no real answer that works the best, competing for yourself, competing for your team, or a combination, but rather it's whatever works best for each athlete. Just add it to the list of many subtle complexities that separate good track and field teams from the not so good. So we talked about Liz. Also, one of other top athletes is Jocelyn Redlinski, we'll speak to in a couple minutes. Ebony Stallworth in the throws department. Really, you have a lot of great athletes on this team that are leading the way. We saw them last year, and they're continuing to improve. And I guess that's the important thing, is not resting on your laurels and just continuing to improve season after season. Yeah, and that's one of the things we always talk about actually at the beginning of the year too, is not resting on the laurels of past success, because then you're living in the past. But it's having that consistency within each individual, but within our team, that the tradition is there and you're expected to carry it on. Jocelyn has been excellent in everything that she does. She leads FCA. She works on campus, and she's a multi-eventer, national level multi-eventer, and has already set our varsity record in her first time out this season, and is on the national list for 3 other events, not just a multi, it's for 4 events. She's on the national list. And then Ebony, really, her consistency has been excellent. She's really close to popping a big shot put. She's really, week in and week out, has been able to put it together. She's matured a lot within the year. The weight throw, she's improved greatly as well. She's definitely, a leader within the throws area, and is really putting it together. So it'll be exciting the next couple weeks. Well, Ebony's already set the school record for shot put this season, and came very close in the Cardinal Classic to re-breaking that record that she had set earlier in the season at the Chicagoland Classic. And I guess that's also part and due to you and your assistant coaches like Sean Denard, who have kind of help these athletes go along as the years go by. How much do you rely on some of the assistant positional coaches to move these athletes along?
Well, let's just say I'm not an expert in a lot of those other areas. So I've coached most of those areas, but I'm not an expert. So we're very fortunate to have expert coaches in each area. And my job with a lot of those women that I don't coach on a daily basis is to manage their training schedule a little bit and what competition schedule they have and get feedback from the coaches as to where they'd like them to be in the next several weeks. And you know, you just have to trust your coaches that they're doing the right thing, and you know, you can't have a strong track and field program with one coach trying to do it all. And it doesn't really do justice to your athletes. And I think because we have several quality coaches that are really focused in their area, the women really get what they need to be able to excel.
Absolutely. I mean, it's such a large team. You need kind of to spread the wealth a little bit. So Friday and Saturday, CCIW Championships. Looking for your second consecutive indoor championship, third in 4 years. If you can grab the win, good luck. And,
Thank you very
thanks
much
for stopping by.
Thank you.
When the Cardinal Report returns, we're joined by one of North Central's finest athletes right after the break.
Today is Saturday.
60 minutes of physical activity a day and eating well can help get your child healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov.
Back here on the Cardinal Report, now joined by Jocelyn Redlinski. Jocelyn, thanks for stopping by. And coming off the Cardinal Classic win, you were not involved in the Cardinal Classic because you're a multi-eventer. You have so many events to worry about, so you kind of had the week off to worry about this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, I have a lot of work. I know I do coming up this weekend, and I've been doing it for 4 years, so I know it's coming. And Coach was nice enough to give me the week off for once. It doesn't happen very often, but just a week to kind of rest up and get my head in the right place.
So you know exactly what's going on. You know where your body needs to be, where your mind needs to be in preparation for the CCIW Championships. Can you kind of give us kind of a preview of your mindset, how focused you have to be to really excel in all the events that you end up going into?
A lot of it, and I mean, coaches had to work with me a lot throughout the last 4 years, that I need a lot of mental stability to go into it, and I actually can't be too focused going in because that's when I put too much pressure on myself. So I started to take it one event at a time, and I'm going to be in multiple events. I know they're going to overlap, and it's just one jump at a time, one race at a time, and we'll get it done. It's just staying confident and being able to know that I can do it, and Coach wouldn't have me in it if I couldn't, and just a lot of trust in my training and a lot of trust in everything I've been doing.
Last year when Coach was on the show, she talked about some of the younger players, younger athletes excelling in their own respective events by watching some of the best athletes on the Resurrect floor, so to speak. So when you were running camera on the high jump this past weekend, just kind of chilling out and resting up, is there anything that you can learn personally from watching some of your fellow athletes, especially in that high jump where you were kind of posted up at?
Oh, definitely. My coach even made a comment today at practice that I knew what I was doing wrong, and I said I've been filming the whole meet last week, but I can learn a lot from the younger guys. I mean, I'm still leading them, but they're teaching me a lot too. And especially at high jump, you can see a lot of the little habits that everyone has going in, and a lot of things that we can work on. And if anything, it's not for me, but I know the different things that they can do wrong, so that next week when I'm there to support them, I can know more what to look out for and how to be a better teammate to them.
Speaking of which, Kelsey Kirk finishing in top 5 as well as Jordan Flowers. So those are younger athletes in the program that are shaping up to have some really promising futures. Jordan Flowers, I mentioned, is a junior, so she is well into her career. But Kirk is someone that you've seen a couple times here and a couple seasons, and really it's an area where you guys are starting to see a slow uptick in the high jump. What'd you see this weekend? This weekend was great. There's just our high jump team in general has a lot of cohesion. We always have each other's backs. But Kelsey and Jordan have both come a long way. They've really bought into the program, and they're really working hard, and it's really starting to pay off. I know it's not to where they want it to be paid off yet, but it's coming. It's definitely coming. So, Coach, when we spoke to her just a couple minutes ago, she had some high praise for you, and I think it's well deserved. You're having an excellent season. Also, some of the events that that you've been in. Let's talk about the hurdles a little bit. And Madison Renfro, who's really come along this season, and we spoke to her over at the Classics, and she's mentioned that it's a lot about weight training and just getting stronger. How much weight training do you do? How much is that a key to your success over your multiple events?
I mean, weight training is super important, starting when I left in June, and it hasn't really stopped since. And it's so important to just be strong and have that base, because if you don't, then there's nothing to build on, and you can only run on natural talent for so long, and you need the muscle base to get it. And Madison's been great. Madison's really improved this year, and she's been a great teammate, and so she's a really good example of the program paying off and working hard.
A couple of weeks ago at the Chicagoland event, she finished the 60-meter hurdles in 9 seconds flat, which beats your record. So
did.
Yeah, that's you have to laugh about that, I guess, because at one point, at one side of the coin is that you're happy to see your teammates succeed. The other point, one of your records has fallen off that Resurrect board.
I mean, if anyone's going to beat it, I'm happy it's Madison. I really am. And there's no point ever between us. That's where she's a great teammate. And there's no point ever where it's been, oh, I beat your record. It's been, congratulations, you just ran 9 flat. And we've both been talking that we both want to break 9 seconds, and it's going to happen this weekend. And we both know it, and that's what we're going into the meet saying. And so if anyone has my record, if it's Madison, that's amazing. We keep going back and forth. So, I mean, if I have it at the end of the season, that'd be wonderful. But if it's Madison, that's also awesome, too.
Well, that's a great attitude to have. And also, you have a lot of confidence and a lot of, you almost see it in your mind that you're gonna break that 9 second in this weekend. Team shaping along very nicely, ranked 11th in the nation right now, and kind of looking in seasons past, I'm not sure if you've ever been ranked quite this high, or maybe to that point heading into CCIW Championships. So this is a season in which you have a lot of expectations, not only in the CCIW Championships, but when it comes to nationals as well. How do you kind of manage those expectations?
Well, it's kind of funny because I've been thinking about it. This is sort of the position we were in my freshman year when we had a lot of strong seniors, and then they left and we had to start a rebuild, and we're getting back to that point slowly, not slowly, well, very quickly. We're getting back to that point, and it's nice to see the team come back, and it's not really managing expectations. It's knowing that we're going to get there, and I know Coach harped on that earlier, but it's really knowing that we're going to get there and that just doing what we're supposed to do, and then the good things are going to come. It's not, oh, we have to be here, we have to be ranked this position. It's, I'm going to do what I know I can do because the training has gotten me there, and the results are going to show.
Well, how proud are you to see that you've gotten back to this position so quickly?
It's amazing. I mean, we had a great freshman year for me, and it started off just great with everyone at nationals. And coming back this quickly, I mean, it's what everybody would want. It's what I want. It's kind of, I was thinking back on my 4 years that I don't want this conference championship any more than I've wanted any of the other ones, because I don't think I could want them anymore. You always want them, and you always want to be there, and it's great to see that everybody else is buying into the idea and everybody else is really getting there, and it's going beyond the CCIW.
Well, you can definitely see the confidence in everyone's eyes, definitely at the meets at the Resurrect this year, and good luck to you. You got championships coming up. Hopefully we'll see you in Nebraska as well for nationals. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
That's it for this episode, but be sure to tune in again same time next week. Our most recent episodes of the Cardinal Report are also available on demand on our website, nctv17.com. I'm Justin Zipser. Thanks for watching.